All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Happy Saturday to everyone out there. It is December 17th. We got 7 games on the NBA slate. Today, we're going to jump into each and every game. I'll give you my lean. I'll give you what I'm thinking. We'll talk about the game. But as always, all my final plays will be in the pinned comment. Last night, we went 1-1. We had the Kings. They covered. And then we had the teaser with the Celtics and the Pacers. The Pacers got the job done. The Celtics, that Magic team, man, surprising me left and right. So we go 1-1. I wish we trusted more of our leans yesterday because our leans were on fire. But nonetheless, guys, we look to have a positive day today, a winning, positive, as you guys know we say. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button as well, guys. Let's try and get 100 likes on today's Saturday video. But yeah, before we do that, I want to talk to you about today's sponsor. Today's sponsor, guys, is my bookie. You've seen me talk about them. Not much to say, guys. Use that promo code GBS. Use the link in the description. I'm always pushing for additional sports books to use and to put into your arsenal so you can compare odds and compare lines and get the best deal out there. My bookie's odds and their lines differ from a bunch of other sports books, so make sure to go check out my bookie. Use that link in the description to get a partial percent match on your first deposit. Now let's jump into the damn thing. We got the Washington Wizards traveling to LA here. Clippers 6.5 point favorites at home. Total 221.5. These two teams played about a week ago. LA won by 7 points, so they covered this line just barely. That game was a 5-point spread. LA did cover it. Washington's 1-7 against the spread in their last 8 games. The Clippers 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games here. In terms of injuries, Bradley Beal is questionable. Kristaps Porzingis upgraded to probable for the Clippers. Paul George questionable. Reggie Jackson questionable. Norm Powell questionable. Zubac questionable. Kennard questionable. All these guys that play major minutes, all questionable for them out there, guys. Now, I think I leaned Washington last time we played. They had 11 points against Denver, and I was like, oh, I'm going to lean Washington. Egg on my face. That does not work. They lose 141-128, but I am going to go ahead and lean Washington again. I think this is a decent amount of points to give, especially with the Clippers team that may not play some of their main guys here. So this could be psycho alert type of a lean here, but I'm gonna lean Washington plus the points in this one. The Clippers coming off of a loss to Phoenix 2 nights ago, and I just think that 6.5 is a decent amount of points. I'm not saying Washington wins this game outright, but I think that they can cover. This spread to me should have been like a 4.5 to 5. So the fact that we're getting, like, at least in my dumb brain, a 1.5 of sort of value there, I'm gonna pull the trigger on that. And then in terms of a total, I do like the under in this one. Clippers in their last 2 games, they've only scored 99 and 95 points, held their opponents to 111 and 88. Washington, on the other hand, here, 2 of their last 3 games, excuse me, they scored 107 or less. So I'm going to lean the under and Washington in this game. Moving on, we got the Spurs, 7.5 point dogs at home, taking on the Miami Heat. And you know what we got to do always right away when we're looking at this Miami Heat team? Whew. All right, guys, tune in for this one, or stay tuned for this one, because they got double-digit players on their injury report. Whew. Here we go. Haslam, questionable. Lowry, questionable. Jimmy Butler, questionable. Victor Oladipo, probable. Dwayne Dedmon, questionable. Bam Adebayo, questionable. Duncan Robinson, upgraded to probable. Highsmith, questionable. Tyler Hero, probable. Max Strus, probable. Caleb Martin, probable. Gabe Vincent, out. Jovic, probable. And Robinson, probable. Yikes, guys. What an injury report here. Jimmy Butler does look like he's going to play, but, if Kyle Lowry doesn't play, if Victor Oladipo, Bam Adebayo, these guys don't play, I'm going to go ahead and lean San Antonio. I know that that's a psycho play because San Antonio hasn't looked that great, but they've started to turn a corner a little bit. They beat Houston. They beat Miami a week ago or so, right? Then they beat Cleveland by 1 outright, just losing to Portland a couple nights ago. So they've been playing pretty poorly like this season and in their last 10. But they got a couple wins there, so I'm going to go ahead and lean San Antonio. This is a very, very light lean, but, I just can't really trust Miami. One, the way that they've been playing against the spread. Miami, in their last 7 here, are 1-5-1 against the spread. Now, they're 4-1 straight up in their last 5, but against the spread is what we're talking about here, and I can't trust them as of right now. So I'm going to lean San Antonio. Probably doesn't become a final play. All right, next up, we got the Cavs, 4-point favorites here at home, taking on the Mavericks. Cleveland, 19-11 this season, 16-12-2 against the spread. This Mavs team worked out for us when we pulled the trigger with them against Portland last night here. They are on the back-to-back, but so is Cleveland. Cleveland coming off that win against Indiana, 118 to 112. In terms of injuries, Max Kleber still out, and Bertans is downgraded out. For Cleveland here, no injuries to note. Dallas hasn't been playing well against the spread on the season. I saw a great comment yesterday. Forgive me, I forget the name. But yeah, Dallas plays well when the up-tempo pace gets going, only at home. They are on the road tonight. They're 6-13-1 against the spread in their last 20 here. I'm going to go and lean Cleveland in this one very slightly. This spread 4 points, it's probably me picturing, again, in this dumb brain, whatever the hell the monkey's clapping up here in this brain. I do think that Cleveland probably wins this game by 5 to 6 points, if I were to just guess. So I'm going to go ahead and lean Cleveland because that number fits right in there. And I also like the over in this game. Now, I understand that, these two teams can trend under all they want here. Dallas has had plenty of games scoring 90 points, holding their opponent to, 80 or whatever. I'm exaggerating there, but this Cleveland team can get hot at any moment. I know they have an amazing defense, but the way these two teams match up, I do like the idea of this going to an over. Last time they played 105 to 90. That was what, 5 days ago or so. I think that a little bit more points are scored here as Cleveland is home, hoping to set that pace. So I'm going to lean the over just because it is a low number. I do think that the pace gets a little bit, of an uptick from what they saw last time, which to beat this would just be another 10 points or so. All right, we got OKC hosting Memphis here. OKC, 8.5-point dogs at home here. Total 233.5. These two teams played at the beginning of December. Memphis won 123-102. Memphis 6-0-1 in their last 7 games against the spread, but the Rumble and Cover and Thunder out here in their last 9 games, 6-3 against the spread. No major injuries for Memphis. Major injuries for OKC. Darius Baisley downgraded to out, and Robinson Earl is still out here. OKC coming off of a loss to Minnesota. They also didn't cover. They were favorites last night and did not cover. They lost by 2. Memphis coming off of, they've won 9 of their last 10 games. They've covered a crap ton too. They're 8-1-1 in their last 10. They're absolutely firing out there. 8.5 is a lot to lay. I'll say that. So I'm going to lean OKC, but I have no doubt in my mind, knock on wood, I guess, that Memphis ends up winning this game, but 8.5 points is a little bit too much for me to confidently say they'll win by that many points. They probably will, but in terms of a lean, I'm not saying it becomes a final play. I don't have the overall, I guess, confidence in that Memphis squad to win this one by 1,000,000 points. Can they do it? Yeah, they beat Milwaukee 142-101, and I was like, are people sitting on this Milwaukee team? Nope. Memphis was like, let's just win that game by 41 points. Crazy. So I think they come back down to earth and, win this game, but it stays a little bit closer. We'll see. Moving on, Houston, 4-point dogs hosting Portland here. Houston, 13-12-3 against the spread. Yes, they are positive against the spread with their last 3 games. They're 2-0-1 against the spread in their last 3. In terms of injuries, Josh Hart, Drew Eubanks, and Little all questionable here tonight for Houston. Jayshawn Tate is questionable, and Alperen Sengun is probable for Houston. That kid surprised me. He just grabs a bunch of boards all of a sudden. You're looking at the box score, you're like, what the heck? But Portland, 6-1 in their last 7 against the spread. Houston, 6-0-1 in their last 7 games against the spread at home. They are home tonight. 4 points doesn't seem like it's that much. I got to go with Portland here. I wanted to go with Houston, but I'm like, Portland has the firepower. We bet against Portland last time, and, they burned us. So, you know what? We're going with Portland minus the 4 points here on the road. They've been a little up and down. I can admit that this season. In their last 10 games, 2-3 against the spread on the road. On the season, they're 11-5 against the spread on the road. So they're not a bad road team. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with Portland minus the points. Milwaukee, 5-point dog. 5-point. Can't speak. Milwaukee 5-point favorites at home here, hosting the Utah Jazz. 230.5 is the total we have here. Utah 18-13 against the spread this season. Milwaukee 15-11-2. These two teams yet to play this season. In their last 10 games here, Utah against the spread 6-4. Milwaukee 4-2. The total has gone under in the last 4 of Utah's last 6 games, and you got to remember at the beginning of the year they're getting these huge totals and still are. Yet Utah is starting to cash some unders here. That being said, Milwaukee's trending in an over pace here. 2 out of the last 3 games have gone over. I think that this game does go over, and I'm gonna lean Utah. I wanted to, looking at this, being like, oh, Milwaukee's going to bounce back after that Memphis loss, which they probably are. I think Milwaukee wins this game, but I think Utah can keep this game close. Call me crazy, but they had 2 pretty solid wins against the Pelicans, so I deem a good team, I should say, in this league. So I'm going to go ahead and lean Utah. Milwaukee, I've said it multiple times. I could be the dumb one here today because a lot of these lines, a lot of these spreads seem pretty damn sharp. But Milwaukee could win this game by 50 because they're pissed, right? Or they could just win this game in a hard-fought game and Utah keeps it close. And that's what I think is going to happen here. Injuries here. Drew Holiday looks like he's going to be probable, and Chris Middleton is out. Speaking of the Devils, New Orleans traveling to Phoenix here. New Orleans 18-10 on the season. Phoenix 17-12. Phoenix 3.5-point favorites at home. Total is 228. And half these two teams played a week ago, and New Orleans won the game 129-124. I think we're on the wrong side of that one. I think we took Phoenix money line there as well that night in some sort of a parlay or something. But New Orleans 7-3 in their last 10 straight up. That being said, against the spread here, 1-3 on the road. Phoenix has had some injuries to deal with. Jay Crowder still out with whatever the hell's going on there. DeAndre Ayton, though, downgraded to out here. Same with Cam Payne for New Orleans. Brandon Ingram is still out. This team is coming off 2 losses to Utah. But was it the games? There might have been a game in between, but they lost twice to Utah. Before that, they beat Phoenix 2 nights in a row within 3 nights. So I think that this Phoenix team now bounces back. I know they're favorites here. I know they have some injuries, but it's hard to beat a team 3 times, isn't it? So I'm going to lean Phoenix here, -3.5 at home. The total is 228. I like the over in this one as well. And that is all we have for you guys today. Hopefully I don't have to record this twice. If you were here yesterday, the entire video was like 16 minutes long, and then all of a sudden the audio crapped out and was corrupted. But hopefully this audio stays through to the actual publishing here. But guys, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.